Hey guys, exciting day today. I will attempt changing the oil in my KTM 890 Adventurer. This is the first time that I'm doing that, and I like the idea to share that with you to build up the confidence of everyone that has never done it. If I can do it, you guys can do it. And so I purchased this kit from KTM Twins. It cost roughly $110, including shipment. And here is what it comes with. We have 3 liters of Power Synth 40 SAE 10W50. This is the oil recommended by KTM. We need only 2.8 liters. Here we have 3, so we should have more than enough. And then here we have all the oil filters as well as seals and O-rings. This is the number. And okay, the first step consists in removing the skid plate right here. How can we remove it? Well, we have a pipe right there, this black one. I don't know if you see that right there. And that is on the right side of the bike. You just need to unplug it. So that will be the first step, and I will show you in a second. And then we want to take an 8mm socket, and we want to remove those 4 bolts right here, 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the front of the skid plate with an 8mm socket. And then underneath, as you will see here, we have more bolts, 8mm, that we need to remove. 1 right here and 1 right there. Some people say that you don't need to remove these 3. However, if I don't remove them, there is no way these things get out. So I will be removing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then these 4 in the front. Okay, finally the skid plate has been removed. Now we need to first untie these 2 fasteners here. Those are 8mm for the oil filter. And then we're gonna have the 13mm, and those are the oil screen. But before doing that, I would like for us to first, we can open the oil plug right here. Before opening it, it's very important to clean it all around to make sure to remove any debris or anything that can get inside. Okay, as you guys can see, there is quite a bit of oil coming out these filters. So that's why now I just untie the fastener just a little bit now to make sure to drain it as much as I can, and then I will completely remove it in a second. Okay. This is the first oil screen of the 2. Okay, after a few minutes of draining, I think we can remove this oil screen right here. This is the second one. We're gonna inspect them in a second. Okay guys, we have finally drained all the oil, which is a good news. And remember, as I mentioned earlier, it's very important that you leave the bike on the side stand. That is what is suggested from the manufacturer. Now we have our components here, and let's take a look at them. We got the two oil screens right here. And to be honest with you, as I mentioned earlier, they look quite good. An additional note is that here there are some magnet, and this magnet is supposed to take any like a residual scrap, metal scrap. And so if you want to keep them, clean them very well. This is the oil cover. What we want to do, now in my case, when you buy the kit, you also get the new O-ring, which is very good. But if you don't have it, you just remove the seal, okay? Which is something I'm gonna do, because I have the new one. I remove it, it seems in a good shape. And what we want to do is to clean very well this area. And after we clean it, what we want to do before placing the new O-ring is to place some oil here to help sealing. Okay, we are now ready to reassemble everything. I opened one container of oil, and I have filled the cap with some oil. This is the oil that I will be using to help sealing. So this is the new O-ring. It's very well lubricated. I'm gonna place it back in like such, and I will put a little bit more just to be sure. All right, so now it's nice and lubricated, and then I will do the same thing here. Now I will not remove them, I will just place some oil on top of them. Okay, now that we have done this, we're gonna place the filter. I will put a little bit of oil inside the filter. I like to pre-fill it a little bit. So I will put a little bit of oil inside, and then I'm gonna stack it inside. I want to clean it here to make sure that nothing is between when we're gonna place the gasket. In. And then you push it, and it feels that it gets back in place properly. So we're good. And then now we have our cover that has been properly cleaned. Fasten them by hand first. To make sure we don't strip anything here. Okay, now it's time to tie these two fasteners at 6 Newton meter. Don't over tie them, it's aluminum, you don't want to strip it. So okay, it's now time for the oil screens right here. Now, as I mentioned, those are the new ones, so there is nothing I need to do. They're clean. But if you intend using the one that you already have, there is a magnet right there. You want to make sure that it's very clean. And then, since those are new, I just put a thin layer of oil there. All I'm doing now is just to place them inside, and I will start tie them by hand. When you place them, you really feel when you push as if they pop back in place. And then as we did the other one, for the other one, we're going to tie them by hand as much as we can. I'm going to use my torque wrench, and as I mentioned, we need to do 20 Newton meters. Okay. Now what I like doing is to take some cleaner, contact cleaner or whatever you want to use, and to clean very well this area. I like to clean it because I'm gonna go ride the bike a little bit, and I want to make sure that I can identify if there are like any leakages coming out. So I want to make sure it's very, very clean. Okay, so earlier, before turning the engine on, I've checked the window here for the oil level. I've checked it with cold oil, and on the center stand. So center stand, cold oil, and I noticed that the oil level was at the beginning of the red circle. So we know that we need to put 2.8 liters inside, and that's what we're gonna do. But I also want to make sure that in case I've not drained it properly, I've left something inside, I'm not overfilling it. And so I know that my benchmark is the beginning of the red line when it's cold. All right, guys, now I've just went for a quick ride, brought the bike up to temperature. Keep in mind that even if the bike is saying that it's a 185 Fahrenheit temperature, doesn't mean that the oil temperature is at 180. That is the temperature, I think, of the coolant or any other temperature, but the water temperature, not the oil temperature. So it's always better to measure the oil level after you ride, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Now, the way I measure I check the oil level, I leave the steering, the handlebar straight, the steering straight, and then all I do is I balance the bike like such. Now, when the bike is balanced, that stays up by itself, stays in equilibrium, it's where I know that it's perfectly straight. And as you can see, after going for a ride and leaving the oil settling probably for a couple of minutes, this is the oil level. So I think we are in the clear. Okay, guys, it's now time to put the skid plate back in. So same process. So here we have the piece of rubber that I mentioned earlier. I put a little bit of grease here to help putting back in, and here is the second one. Those are the parts that will hold the skid plate in place. So we're going to put it back in here. It's important to put it, if you have a center stand, locate it above the center stand, and then we go all around. Okay. All right. Skid plate has been assembled properly. We connected the pipe back in. Oil level, I think is where it needs to be, because now remember it's warm. Okay guys, final step. We need to reset the service light. So here is what we need to do. We go through the setting by clicking the set button. We go to the setting menu. We go down up to a point the setting menu is highlighted, and then we hold at the same time arrow up and down. There you go, set service, and here we set as distance. I'm gonna put it to 9,000 miles, which is when I'm gonna have the next service being performed. Then date, I'm gonna put 12 months from today. There you go. And then we're good to go. I hope you guys found this video useful. I've never changed oil in any of my bike or cars. That was the first time. Long story short, if I did it, you guys can do that. So that's it. Have a good day, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know.